The Brazilian scene have also been reporting that it's quite likely the team falls to pieces too.
The players, are probably negotiating with Loud because they just won fucking champs.
Yeah.
So they're probably trying to get a bit more money out of it. They want to stay together.
Does your gut feeling say Loud stick together? Do you think they're going to work it out?
Fala galera, tudo bem com vocês? Durante o último episódio do Plat Chat, que é um dos maiores podcasts da língua inglesa, que é composto por casters do Valorant, e durante o último episódio do podcast, eles falaram sobre a saída do BZK do time da Loud, comentaram os rumores que tá rolando sobre a saída dos demais jogadores e também usaram a Loud de exemplo para falar sobre os valores de negociação. E separamos esse trecho aqui pra gente conferir. Mas antes, pessoal, peço que confiram se realmente estão inscritos aqui no canal. Mais de 60% das pessoas que assistem nossos vídeos não são inscritas. Então peço que confiram e também deixe aquele like nesse vídeo. É algo bem rápido pra você, mas que ajuda demais o nosso trabalho.
The Brazilian scene have also been reporting that it's quite likely the team falls to pieces too. Let's talk the head coach first of all, because Bazooka or Bazooka was an incredibly integral part of taking Loud all the way through to winning champions and basically starting with a super team idea and making them actually function this year. And he's been maybe let go is the wrong wording here because we don't really know what's happening, but he's an unrestricted free agent. So that implies that Loud are not looking to rehire him, but maybe that's him just testing the open market. But he's had a statement here in English that he also repeats in Portuguese too, where he's just talking about how he's very proud of what he's doing and he's looking for future opportunities as well. So a big free agent coach that other teams could pick up.
Pretty sad. I think Sassy did a tell-all as well on his stream.
It was in Portuguese though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but there was translated posts on Reddit.
Oh, I didn't see those.
The Valorant competitive, and it was. I think the general gist of it, from what I'm remembering, was that the team wants to stay together as much as they possibly can. Yeah, so the team wants to stay together. It's very stressful. They're having 3 to 4 meetings every day because players need to renew their contracts. Players are approached by other teams.
Right.
Worst case scenario, the team disbands. He wants full support, obviously, but that's not their wish. So it seems to me like probably the players, are probably negotiating with Loud because they just won fucking champs.
Yeah.
So they're probably trying to get a bit more money out of it. They want to stay together.
Does your gut feeling say Loud stick together? Do you think they're going to work it out?
I don't think so.
No?
Everything that I've seen prior is that it seems like the org probably isn't willing to spend. It feels like it's already set in motion. You can't stop it at this point. Maybe in some way or form, the whole of this roster will not stay together. You might see some core of the roster stay together, but
I believe the day that Bazooka tweeted that he was an unrestricted free agent, Owner tweeted a little like contract and 10 tweet. If Loud's players were going elsewhere, where would you like to see them end? Let's say Loud are scattered to the winds. Are there any obvious places? We don't have to go through each player, but is there something that just springs to mind as this player should go in this direction, or this player would be such a big acquisition here?
Don't care where the players really go as much, but I want Sassy and Sadak to stay together. Personally, I'd like that the core of those two players to stick together because they when I think of the core of this team and the core of the success of this team, I think it's from those two guys, and you can surround them with young talent that can be molded.
I don't think you could make a better. I say Brazilian, even though Sadak's from Argentina, but I don't think you could make a better Brazilian super team than this. I think there's other players that are hanging around, like somebody like Heat, which might be a great add to the team, but I really don't think that you could create a better super team right now, even with an unlimited budget, than Loud. You could maybe make some 1-for-1 swaps that might be similar, but I don't think these guys are going to end up on better teams. It's not going to be an upgrade.
I mean, Pancada might be putting in, honestly, with his performance coming out of champs, might be the best controller player in the world at the moment.
Yeah, but I think, that's always gone up and down between Marv.
They're also more
Pancada.
I would probably just grab Bazooka and have him build something. Even if it's not a Brazilian super team, I know he speaks English as well. So it would be very possible to build a team around him.
Sadak and Sassy both speak English easily well enough to play on a mixed language
I mean, you could
team
even
as well.
keep that core 3 together of the leadership core, Sadak, Sassy, and Bazooka, and just get 3 young players to mold with them and just make Loud 2.0 with the same leadership core but different young players. You could even mix in players from North America, import people from EU. It just has to be an org that's willing to kind of trust in that leadership, because
and pay a lot of money.
Speak English and pay a fuck ton of money.
I don't know if Loud can't keep this team together. I don't know any org in Brazil that has the capital to do that other than Loud right now. Like, and if they cannot keep this roster together, there's no one in Brazil that can do it. Like, it just can't be done.
The Brazilian scene is going to actually demand super teams to be competitive at the top level, right?
Like, I don't know if Loud themselves expected, like, not just only to win champs. I'm sure they wanted to win champs and had that in mind when they built the roster, but the level of money that potentially was going to be thrown at the players.
I know we've talked about this before, but I just want to explain with an example here of Loud, of why it's so difficult for top rosters to stick together. Let's use Loud as an example, right? Let's say they have, I'm just going to use a budget of $1 million, right? They have $1 million to spend on salary for next year. So that's their budget that they can go with. So each player would be paid, so their 5 players would be paid 200K over the course of the year. I'm not saying these are reasonable numbers, but we're just using round numbers here. If somebody else comes over to each of the individual players, maybe those teams also have a budget of $1 million, but they're happy to pay 4 of their players only 100K.
Yeah.
And they're willing to spend huge amounts of money. Another, I mean, what even would that be? 600K. Maybe that doesn't quite work. But
yeah.
They're ready to spend 600K on Sassy. And Loud now is like, oh, bruh, okay, I mean, maybe we can stretch the budget a little bit for Sassy, but then they get another team that wants Aspas and is willing to spend 400K on Aspas. And now they have to try and match all of these offers that are going up and up and up for the entire squad. Whereas for the teams that are trying to get them, they only have one player that they're really spending the cash on. But the combined kind of pressures from the outside end up meaning that these teams like Loud, or if Optic had got in, that kind of thing, are under immense economic stress to try and keep these super teams that they've already formed together. So it's not that every other team would be spending more as a total, but because you have all the good players, you end up having to spend a shit ton just to fend off the other offers from elsewhere.
Pois é, mas qual a sua opinião sobre tudo isso? Já deixa aí nos comentários, deixa também aquele like e confere se está inscrito aqui no canal. É bem rápido para você, mas ajuda demais o nosso trabalho. Mas é isso, rapaziada. Aquele abraço e até o próximo vídeo.